Soil is hungry, and soil is also thirsty.
There it is. There's the postal reference. I got it out of the way first. So Hatred is a game, and because of its subject matter, that being murdering innocent people because you're the king of the edgelords. But it's ironic, guys. The people who made this are satirizing it. It's like, at first this game got pulled from Steam Greenlight, but then they put it back. And Gaben himself sent a letter of apology about it. That's right, Gabe Newell felt the need to apologize for something. Hatred is a twin-stick isometric shooter. It's like Postal 1. Really like Postal 1. At least on the surface, the way the game plays is different for a variety of reasons. And you might be asking why this video isn't called Hatred or Perfect Hatred or something like that. I'm a little paranoid about YouTube being dicks about this. I wanted to do a Hatred video. People expect me to do a Hatred video after the Pro Postal series, but Hatred is frowned upon because of its graphic violence towards, well, everyone and everything. Hatred is the first adults-only game I've ever played without anime titties in it, meaning you can't stream it on Twitch, and also meaning that YouTube would age-restrict this video or demonetize it without a second thought. But it's not like there's titties in this game, it's just brutal violence, which got me thinking. Sometimes filmmakers, in an attempt to avoid an NC-17 rating for violence, they use some tricks that I've never thought to apply to video games. For example, there's a scene in Evil Dead 2 where a deadite gets hacked to bits with an axe, and so they use green blood instead of red blood. It's fine, it's not the same, right? This isn't violent, it's fun and colorful. Hatred has a strange color palette, right, where most of the stuff is in black and white, and while this is a bad idea from a gameplay perspective, from the perspective of having Katie change all the red blood to green blood in editing, it's brilliant. Katie, you don't have a problem with this, right? I'm a hack that sucks at blood. It's funny because this is never gonna work. Hatred comes from Destructive Creations, a Polish developer that wanted to make the edgiest game ever, but you don't really get that feeling because it's played straight most of the time. I get it, but this is what everybody remembers Hatred for.
My name is not important.
His name is actually the antagonist, but that's not important.
What is important is what I'm going to do. I just fucking hate this world and these human worms feasting on its carcass. My whole life is just cold, bitter hatred. And I always wanted to die violently. This is the time of vengeance, and no life is worth saving. And I will put in the grave as many as I can. It's time for me to kill. And it's time for me to die.
People remember the trailer because they didn't buy the game to play it for YouTube. You all know the classic lines and all the real nasty violent stuff, but what about the fact that the logo is in Doom letters? Why is a logo in Doom letters? What is important is that it's not really a bad game, but actually playing through it is, boring. To the extreme! The tutorial level starts off with you hanging around your house shooting targets, executing a person you kidnapped before the game started. And I know the game is going way overboard on purpose. Still makes me feel weird.
Dust to dust.
According to the developer, this was their intention. And the fact that I didn't feel it more during the entire game means that I'm a terrible person. It takes a lot to shock me unless it's really stupid, or if it's just really bad design. You learn the basics of shooting, movement, tossing grenades, all of which have some quirks. You can't sprint while shooting, and holding down the fire button makes your accuracy tank, so you gotta use
short controlled bursts.
You use the shift key to run at objects and vault over them when that works, which is not all of the time. It's hard to know exactly what you can and can't climb over. The grenade tossing has a wind-up animation that needs to stop and go away, and if I'm going to toss a grenade, I can't sit there for 2 seconds while everybody shoots me. It surprises me that they haven't gotten over some of the hurdles of the original Postal game from 1997, like being able to toss grenades over the scenery. Again, this isn't something that happens all the time, but it happens enough. So I like to search Roblox pornography. I don't believe in video game censorship generally. It's not like Hatred is actually about specific hatred, just an edgy gentleman who hates society and wants to kill everyone. Postal did it in 1997, and when you think about it, Hatred needs to go even further over the top in order to differentiate itself. So let's talk about executions, because it's probably what got this game its adults-only rating in the first place. Because they're graphic and also kind of funny because of the look in the guy's face. Are they going to be able to see this under the Kittens? My favorite part about the executions and also the cutscenes at the end of levels is the people who are just kind of milling around in the background when you do this, not shooting you.
They're beginning to weaken. Sending an army to fight me. Good.
No, I get it, she can't shoot me because she'd break her wrist. There are good things about Hatred, and I'm gonna talk about them now. The design of the levels, right, the environments and how they're destructible, and you have to make sure to be aware of windows, doors, even decorations. The voice acting isn't as bad as I expected when I found out that the main voice actor used a pseudonym. He's credited as Clint Westwood, I assume until Electronic Arts buys him and shuts him down. You're not going to get the full Hatred experience in the first level. It does set up some constants, though. You've usually got a set number of people to kill, a big open space that you can steal cop cars and drive through. The vehicles control pretty badly, so don't even do that. Once you've murdered a set number of people in that area, there's a second objective you'll have to do before it lets you leave. There are side quests that'll give you respawn points. The game doesn't have saves. It just lets you respawn a certain number of times without having to restart the level. It's a live system, basically. The only way to get health back is to perform executions, which range from these elaborate close-up camera setups to just watching the antagonist point his gun in the general direction of the downed enemy and fire. You know, like in Postal. I gotta give him credit for actually tying it to the gameplay in Hatred, though. In Postal, it's just a thing you can do. Unless you're playing the Rampage mode in Postal Redux, where you get a score for it, and this refills your health completely. Not bad, in theory. The problem is you can't count on being able to execute someone. You could shoot through 10 people and not get a chance to execute any of them, because you don't really have the option of wounding them. It seems completely random when they drop and can be executed. And don't fucking tell me to use F to melee them, because I tried that and it still kills them. This loading screen is a fucking lie. You can hold down the Alt key to show your objectives and highlight stuff in the environment in red. I mean green. But I actually mean red, which is helpful because you can't fucking see anything. The pickups are kind of shiny, but the developers clearly knew that this was a problem. You raid the police station at the end of the first level, and have a listen to this. I mean, I think it's cool and kind of clever to have their phones ringing off the hook while you're massacring the whole town, but it's also ear-splitting and I have to be in here. The AI in Hatred is hit or miss. That's not a pun. They do usually hit you. It's just that they have a habit of not really doing much of anything while you're running through the place killing everybody. And when you're on the second floor of a building, you can still see them, and it's confusing, and the isometric perspective is a bad idea. And before somebody comments about the first-person mod, yes, I know it exists. I don't play a game for this channel with mods because I'm not looking at a game the way some third party made it. It's a game I paid for, and I'm gonna play. For some reason, no matter what I do, whenever I capture this game, I get these black frames. I'm gonna say it's a problem on my end. They don't appear when I'm playing the game, it's just the capture software. I mean, they're not black frames, they're something. But that's a Katie problem. You kids might not know this. One time I took some drugs and then banged my sister. When you're done in the police station, you gotta leave the district. Guess how?
I never thought it would be so easy to slaughter my whole neighborhood. I can feel their pain, their suffering flowing through my veins. It's like the most intense drug, and I need more. I'll hide and prepare an ambush. It's time to shoot some canned meat.
And it's full of cops. The objective is to find a way out of the sewer. But not this way, or this way, or this way, or this one. Only this one. So what ends up happening in these early levels is you go postal, and the cops swarm you, and you have to avoid them because they'll just sneak right up on you. And I know there's a radar. You'll have to deal with a few police raids during this game. In this one, you're supposed to kill 20 cops, but the game spawns more than that. You might as well forget the survive the raid part, because you're gonna have to deal with just as much shit getting to the next objective marker. You jump on a train, and you get a train level.
Time to leave this place. I can smell some innocent blood. It always tastes better. This train's going to be a big iron coffin for all of you.
Hold on tight. The ride might get a little bloody.
Where are we heading? The next station is near a nuclear power plant. That gives me an idea.
If the antagonist lines sounded even edgier than edgy, it's because they were written by a man from a death metal band. His name is Air War Crimer. You gotta be fucking kidding me. That's not a name, that's a racer in Carmageddon. You know, I was gonna do a bit where I read some of the song titles and lyrics from Infernal War, the band Air War Crimer is the vocalist in, who've been accused of being neo-Nazis, which I think is unfair, because they're fans of all human atrocities, not just the Holocaust. This quote from them sums it up.
Infernal War is the audio essence of pure inhuman terror, a soundtrack to genocide. The band stands for the extermination of the weak and ignorant human masses, being neither a political band nor an NSBM band. Infernal War supports wars, genocides, murders, and the total death of this beautiful modern world. Hail Satan!
So he stops the train long before he gets to the nuclear power plant so he can kill a bunch of people at this truck stop. And this is when the game started flooding me with police so that doing the side missions wasn't really worth the effort, because it'll get you a respawn point, but you'll get killed trying to do them, so there's no reason to do that, in my mind, if you want to finish the game. I killed all these motel residents by accident when I was cornered by the police, so I got one anyway. I needed it. You'll just be walking along when they all show up, and it seems like they spawn out of range of the radar. At least they went through the effort of doing that instead of just dropping them on you. Because this game hates me. Ha ha ha. The next level is a train station, which you would have probably stopped at if you hadn't stopped the train earlier. But now you got this military vehicle with a machine gun on top, and you have to switch between driving and shooting. Realistically, you can't do both at once. I've shit on a game before for doing this wrong, so I suppose I can't really shit on this one for doing it right. It still feels like sometimes the authorities show up out of nowhere. In this next level in the town, where there's a gun show, kinda clever, everybody picks up a gun and starts shooting you. This place should be your base of operations for the whole level, because you'll be running back there to pick up body armor. This is the best level in Hatred, and I guess it's the best use of all the gameplay elements, so it's time to throw the player to the wolves. The military base is the hardest level, by far. It's hell. I actually died a couple of times. You start off in a vehicle you didn't have in the last level. You're going into the military base to get some C4 so you can blow up the reactors in the nuclear plant. And I'm not a scientist, but I don't think that's how that works. Please no one try to correct me on that. Some of Hatred's minor problems become a lot more glaring during this level, which is bad because it's the level you'll spend the most time on because it's kind of unreasonable. Just look. There's so much shit being thrown at you here, it's like sensory overload. So let's break down exactly what's going on. There's a group of guys here shooting at you, but there's also another group outside. One of them throws a grenade that explodes here and blows out this wall. One of the soldiers outside throws a grenade that explodes that forces me out of this corner because there's enough damage to the environment so that they can start shooting me from outside. There's at least 5 guys out there. I run out into this hallway to exit the building on the other side, and then a guy shoots me from off screen. Getting shot from off screen in this game isn't usually a problem unless you've already alerted the enemy. While I'm trying to escape, I'm getting shot from here, and I know there's a soldier gunning for me out here. This lens flare completely obscures the antagonist as I'm trying to get through a doorway. I'm pretty sure the lens flare is because of the antagonist's flashlight. Why it has to be seen like that from the isometric perspective, I don't know. And I would turn it off, it seems completely useless in this game. But I can't. The game turns it on and off when it feels like it. There's no option to turn it off, there's no button to turn it off, and there isn't an option to turn off the lens flares. It's on Unreal, so it needs all the effects on all the time! While I'm moving around on this stairwell that I'm cornered in, the perspective switches between upstairs and downstairs, and the game makes a respectable effort to make sure I'm aware of my position with this silhouette, which is still getting partially obscured by all the debris and smoke. Before I'm even outside, there's someone shooting at me from outside. And only after I'm dead do I get to actually see where that guy is. Okay, dead. Time to start again because I have a respawn point, but there's no reason for me to use it because I haven't made any real progress. They seem to just know where you are, and you'll get stuck on stuff in the level because of the visual design. It's hard to focus on your character because he's all black basically, and the game is mostly black and white, so yeah, it took me a few tries to do this one. So you follow your objective marker past all these guys, maybe killing some of them, trying desperately to get an execution off of them while they surround you and fill you with bullets. I had a rocket launcher by now, sure, but it's weird. It feels like the rocket is too fast, and because of the perspective, it's sometimes like measuring the height of your shots is drive the truck in, stop, shoot, move a little bit forward, stop, shoot, blow up all these cars, that slows them down. Look at this is ridiculous. So I get the C4 and try to escape.
2 charges should be enough to blow up those fucking parasites. Now, let's go back.
My objective marker is now back at the beginning of the level because the military base is right down the street from the nuclear power plant, and I cheesed the game a little bit because the game puts the objective marker at the beginning of the level, and when you die, the respawn point takes you back to the beginning of the level. Okay.
One man conquering an army base. Nothing compares to this feeling. Absolutely nothing. The power plant nearby. Built for their comfort and prosperity. Now, it will become their doom. A much better use of it.
So that was the second to last level, and the next one isn't nearly as hard. And these guys just stand here and shoot you. Ammo shouldn't be a problem, because all these soldiers have ammo for the assault rifle. What you have to do is go and place C4 on these two things next to each reactor, and then get to the control room, and this nuclear power plant is guarded in a way that makes me think it's right down the street from a military base or something. Since this is my first time playing through Hatred, I'm not a pro at it. You have to sit here and wait in a decontamination chamber at least 4 times for no reason, doing nothing. I have no interest in killing these people. I just want to see a big explosion. I don't know, I guess this game is excelling at what it's trying to do. It's just that it's trying to do so little besides be hardcore as fuck, like the ending. All in all, I finished the Hatred campaign in about 3 hours. That's counting the deaths and the fact that I'm a first-time player, and the ending just kind of pisses me off because the whole game could have been this funny.
How do I overload the reactors?
What? No, never! It will cause a massive explosion! Are you insane?
That's what I want, and you will tell me, or I'll make you die. Very fucking
All right, please stop! I will do this! I will do this! No, I won't do that.
No, I won't do that.
Oh yeah, so there's a password. You guys want to know what the password is? Because it got spoiled for me long before I played this game. And it doesn't even matter what one you enter, but the correct one... And instead of just shooting this guy who's going to blow up a pretty large section of New York, they corner him. Say, he's here!
He's here!
Make no effort to shut down the reactor, which can be overloaded from one console in a control room with a 3-digit code that's all the same character. At some point, you have to put the fault on the power plant's IT security department.
So, the time has come.
Yes! Perfect!
I only wonder if those explosives will work.
You know what? That was pretty awesome. I'm not disappointed. I like to sit through the credits of games that I play, but this one just hits you with the writer's fucking super loud screamy metal band while the devs' names are on the knives and weapons and you can fly and kick people. I just didn't really do that much. The flamethrower, I never found the flamethrower. There's a survival mode too, you know, why not? Get you some extra time out of this 3-hour game. No thanks to anyone. Fuck you all. Okay, Uwe Boll, calm down.
Fuck yourself. What retarded amateur idiots collecting money on that absurd websites, you know? My message is, fuck yourself. I want to do Rampage 3 because it is an important movie. You're easier giving $600,000 if you make a movie about some retarded wizard in the forest. Marvel Avengers bullshit dirt and goodbye Hollywood. Marvel Avengers bullshit dirt, whatever, bullshit dirt. Retarded wizard in the forest. Bullshit dirt. If you make a movie about some bullshit dirt, retarded wizard, bullshit dirt, fuck yourself, bullshit dirt. So goodbye and goodbye Hollywood.
I don't even know where to go after that. No thanks to anyone, fuck you all, except Lord Gaben and our fans. I've played bad games, this is fine for the most part. It's clear that there were people who worked on this game who wanted to make it, you know, playable. This game's getting the official Civvy stamp, but you could do worse for $6 on Steam. Wear it proudly.